Hi, I'm Montaigne and I'm going back to school with Student Edge.
What were you like as a teenager?
It's a loaded question, my
It
friend.
is a very loaded question.
I changed, like as a 13-year-old, I think I was like a very excitable young girl who was like really into the Jonas Brothers and like Disney, and I wanted to be a singer, like that's what I wanted to be. And of course everyone was like, that's nice, Jess. And then when I got to like 15, 16, I became like pretty diligent. I was a really studious student. Well, actually that was like 14, 15. Then when I hit 15, 16, I was the worst. I was just the worst. I don't know, I was like really sarcastic in a probably not good way and wasn't diligent at all with my schoolwork, just sort of mucked around a little bit. Not to the extent that the teachers all hated me, but to the extent that I just did not perform as well. Like as opposed to being like an A student, I was a B student and just didn't work super hard. And then year 11 and 12, I had like this weird, almost like ascetic period where I was just like, I'm just going to be in the library, I'm just going to study, I'm going to smash my HSC. I went vegan, I was doing a bit of sport here and there, but I was just mostly studying, like I wasn't actually enjoying my life.
Well, let's break it down because there's a lot to unpack there. Let's go back to 13 quickly.
Yeah.
So you said, the music you're listening to was kind of the Jonas Brothers. When you sort of had that passion like, oh, I want to get into music, did you see yourself as becoming like a Jonas sister, like a pop, like a pop singer?
I think I grew up listening to pop music, and especially like Christina Aguilera, Delta Goodrem, Britney Spears, like really strong female vocalists, But I was always writing my own songs, and that was what I was into when I was like 13, 14, like mostly pop music. But also like I grew up, my dad always used to play a lot of 70s to 90s hip hop, R&B, soul and pop music and rock as well. Like he loved Queen and Bowie and Savage Garden and like Depeche Mode and LL Cool J and like just like a motley crew of artists kind of thing.
Motley Crue?
Motley Crue, not Motley
No,
Crue.
okay.
My dad's not into any metal or heavy music. Yeah, I just grew up with all those influences as well as what I was hearing on the radio, and so that was me at 13. And I think the songs I was writing were just like almost kind of like sassy Lily Allen like pop songs kind of thing.
Well, look, with all this exploring going on and your kind of interest in music, did that feed into you kind of losing a bit of interest in school at 16? Like, is there like a connection here between your passion for music increasing and your interest in school maybe dropping off a bit?
I don't think so. I think my interest in the school dropping off when I was 15 and 16 was just that like I was emotionally embroiled in like this relationship with this girl that she was my best friend, but I like developed a crush on her. And I was like, and so I just like got lost in that. Like I just did not pay attention. I just sort of like wanted to like impress her and hang out with her all the time kind of thing, and that sort of just led me to, and also Tumblr. That was the year that the Deathly Hallows Part 2, like the final Harry Potter movie came out, so like everything was like coming to a head, like my Harry Potter fever was like back and rearing, and like I was super into that and Star Kid Potter, like, and Tumblr is just such a cesspool for all those things, like just everything's there, like you can get stuck on that side forever. And I still use it. There's still like Harry Potter fan fiction out there that I've written. There's still like Kingdom Hearts music videos that I cut together when I was 13, which are terrible, but like...
Under your name, or is it sort of just roaming the internet?
Pseudonym. It's out there, you gotta find it, but it's there. But like, that like, yeah, that's why my 15, 16 period was a bit, I just dropped everything because I was like addicted to Tumblr and addicted to this person, and I was just focusing on that. And I was still writing songs around that time, but I think more so in like the aftermath. Like it was funny. It was really like that. We had like just this close friendship group, which just like shattered because I was being an idiot. Like I was just really jealous of this. Anyway, but that group sort of like final day was like the last day of that year of school. Like we just didn't really talk to each other after that. And then after that, that's when I just like almost immediate like monastic change from me. I was just like, I'm gonna switch everything up. It was like a big New Year's resolution, but like I actually stuck to it.
And did that stuff kind of feed into the music as well?
Oh, hell yeah. I wrote I'm a Fantastic Wreck during that time, and a Cinematic Play Friend, like all these songs, like they got just like super emo and introspective, and I think I just like matured slightly as a person, like learned from that and what I did.
So even though you were kind of on that path, you still didn't think it was like a viable career?
Yeah, well, my parents were still like, you're still going to go to university and you're still going to get an education, which I found really important. Like, that's the thing as well. Like, all of my academic diligence is born out of like internal motivation. Like, I'm just one, competitive person, two, like chronic overachiever, three, have a borderline pathological desire or like impulse to like impress people. And so that just made me do well in school and like really push myself and want to go to university and like.
Do what? What was the plan?
Well, I did go to university for a semester and a half, and I did a Bachelor of Arts Languages at Sydney University, and I studied French and linguistics, and I had studied German and philosophy as well, but dropped down to part-time because it was too hard balancing that and working and then doing music. And then eventually just dropped out because I was like, I like doing the music thing only and just like working and whatever. I think I'll go back one day when I'm less busy doing all this. I think I just kind of knew I had something special and good. So I just trusted that instinct and just left uni and just devoted myself to doing music.
How do you tell your parents that? Because this is
no,
pre-ARIA, pre-album, you know, how do you make that case to your folks?
My parents hated me. There was a period where we just like didn't talk for a year because they thought I was throwing my life away. Like, oh, you can't just do music. Like, you need to blah, 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 do all this stuff. And I was, yeah, they didn't take it well.
Are they more comfortable with it now?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, they're so happy. I mean, no, I think there's still, I think my mom and dad would still say like, we'd like for you to be at uni. Every now and again, my mum will be like, oh, you know, you can do like distance education. But I'm just like, that's not where my head's at right now. Like, I want to one day, but just not right now.